Hey, what's up, Exit the Matrix family? Bob here. Hope you guys are having a good day, good morning, good night, whenever you see this. This morning, I wanted to do a video on just a kind of a reminder to everybody about what we're facing, the true evil and nature and the cult of these quote unquote people that are in the WEF, Bilderberg, all these groups, these people that are controlling our politicians, their little puppets, these ones that are pushing all these radical changes on our world, and pushing propaganda and lies and poisons. So I think everything I'm going to talk about here, all of you are, if you follow this channel or Exit the Matrix on Facebook, then you're already aware of all this stuff. I'm just trying to kind of wrap this all up in one bundle so that people can understand the evil and plans that these people have for us. You see at Davos these all these people sitting up there talking about all these wonderful ways how they can basically destroy humans, to save the planet. They all pretend like, oh, we care so much about this earth and this planet. That's like their cult, they're basically cult members because they have a very zealot view on things, and they will do anything within their power to force these changes, to force this doctrine on the rest of us, even though the science doesn't truly match up with what they're actually telling us. One thing we got to realize is a lot of these people in these groups are heads of corporations, are mouthpieces in governments, puppets in government positions, the bankers. All of these groups of people have been the ones destroying the earth for, let's just look at the modern era, for 100 years plus. They're the ones that have been dumping these poisons all over the earth, in our water, polluting our air, polluting our ground. These are the people manipulating our food. These are the people that turn natural food products into processed poison. And then when that wasn't enough, when they didn't get enough people eating processed junk like frozen meals and such, microwavable meals, a lot of these processed foods, processed meals that were popular, especially in the 70s and 80s, TV dinners and such, it was all poison, getting people to eat just, processed junk, in the replace of real food. Well, we've gotten to a point now where even if now you try to just, eat natural meats and vegetables and such, they're poisoning the crap out of that too. You can't get around it. Most of your meat now is just pumped with antibiotics and all kinds of other antibiotics and vaccines and all kinds of stuff in your meat. You've got most of your so-called healthy, vegetables and all that. Most of the stuff you buy at the store the produce wise and fruit wise has been hybridized to the point that all of the good nutrients are gone, and in replace of that is maximum sugar levels. It's yeah, some of it may taste a little sweeter, a little, more sour, a little better, but that's because it's got a lot higher sugar content in it. You're not actually getting, and because of the way they do this, most of the actual vitamins and minerals and nutrients you need from that fruit or that produce is now gone. And then you look at the ground that they plant in. See, when farmers of old, they understood how to protect the land. They learned after the Dust Bowl that you had to protect the ground. And crop rotation and all these different things were invented to help replenish the soil. Well, the problem now is that most of your small farmers are gone, and they've been bought out by these conglomerate, multinational ag companies. And now they're producing your meat, your produce on a commercial scale using commercial tactics and processes. The animals are treated way less humane than what your farmers of old, how they used to treat their animals. I mean, these animals are in stalls they can't even move in. They're given injections that get them bigger and fatter, and less muscle but more fat on them. They're Franken animals now, essentially, in these commercial farms. They're, just absolutely drenched in antibiotics, because when you have animals that can't live, free range, that don't have room to walk around outside, that can't get fresh air and sunlight, and they're in a gigantic covered metal factory in a little ass pen, they're going to get tons of viruses and tons of, they're going to get sick. It's just common sense. And so they pump them with tons of vaccines and antibacterials to try to offset that. Well, you're ingesting all of that stuff. All those hormones and all that. And I can guarantee you the vaccines they're giving the animals are just as bad, if not worse, than what they're giving us. There's just as much poison in it, just as much stuff that deteriorates your body from the inside out. They know this. We are being poisoned on all fronts, people. The air, the water, we all know what's going into the air. I'm not going to get into that. That it causes such a major debate. Let's just be real, folks. Contrails don't stand in. They don't stay in the air all day long and spread out and create a haze over the whole sky. You can see it. All you got to do is look early in the morning. You watch those lines going crisscrossing across the sky, and for hours they just spread out. They don't dissipate, and they haze the whole sky. They're spraying. We already know, people have done ground tests and everything. We know that there's elevated levels of aluminum and barium and other chemicals that are very bad for human beings, are very toxic. And most of those build up in your system, so it's a slow demise. It builds over time in your system. But it's not just us. It gets in the plants. It gets in the animals. So even if you're out there, you're a hunter, and you think, okay, well, I'm going to hunt. I'm going to get clean meat. Deer, elk, rabbit, whatever. Whatever you're out there hunting, wild. You're like, okay, well, I'm going to get around their factory meat, and I'm going to get my own meat. Well, those deer and elk, they're eating the same plants that have this stuff, contaminating the plants. They're drinking the same water that's contaminated. And if they're anywhere near human civilization, they're getting the radiation and frequency poisoning from the towers. And you know what I'm talking about. So, yeah, that's probably still a lot better than what you're buying in the store. But that meat, that animal is still being poisoned and contaminated. It's unfortunate, folks. I mean, we are essentially in a fishbowl, and there's certain people within that fishbowl that are just mass contaminating that fishbowl. This is a concerted effort. These people are what they used to be called, back, in the 50s, 60s, 70s, eugenicists. And they used to be proud of the fact they were eugenicists. These people are cultists, just like the ones that push the climate cult stuff. And they all work together because their goals essentially are the same. And that's to dismiss most of the world's population. I guess they think they can re-terraform the earth after they've got their plans underway, after the cleansing has happened. I think they think that they really have the scientific power to re-terraform this earth and to make it the Garden of Eden, again, after, let's just say, so just the few can enjoy it, right? I mean, this is what we are dealing with, people. These types. And these people are psychopaths. These people are handpicked in the universities. They are handpicked to join groups, shadow groups, secret societies, whatever you want to call them. Because the recruiters are looking for people such as these that are so evil that they're psychopaths. They don't care about people or animals or anything. They only care about themselves and getting rich and having power over others. And these are the people that are sought out in the universities. These are the people that are sought out by religion. These are the people that are sought out by government institutions, by corporations, to rule over us. They're handpicked. They're put in positions of power and control. They are judges and lawyers. They are doctors. They are heads of corporations. They are government officials. They head militaries. These people, and it isn't just on a large scale. These people, there's micro levels of this too. They're put in your county positions. They're put in city positions. And they recruit each other. They find others like themselves. And then you wonder why there's no justice. You wonder why agencies that are supposed to protect the environment, that are supposed to protect our health, do the opposite. You wonder why they're owned and controlled by these corporations and such. Why we take them to court and we show what they're doing, and the court sides with them. Well, because they're all part of the same web. They may not all be in the same groups and have the same affiliations, but all of those groups and affiliations all connect with each other, because essentially they all have the same long-term goal in mind, and that is to dismiss most of humanity. That's what we're dealing with, folks. These people, if you can call them people, I call them ghouls. They're dead inside. They're ravenous. They'll eat and destroy everything in their path. And they're uncontrollable. We are, I'm sorry. I just, when you really think about it, it hits you hard because, look, I'm in my mid-40s, I'm already at least halfway down that track, towards my exit, at least naturally. I worry, this is about my children. I worry about what they're going to have to fight and try to deal with. And, I don't want to sound hopeless here, people, because it's not hopeless, okay? I'm just trying to wake people up first to the point of what we're looking at, the true reality, the true depth of evil of what we're staring at. I mean, we all, in our own lives, we all sin, we all have done things we're not proud of, we've all hurt others, we all have done things we wish we wouldn't have done. We've all made major mistakes, and we've all, that's human nature. We're here in this dualistic world. We're experiencing dualism hardcore here on Earth, and we're dropped here. We're put here. We enter here without knowing what we truly are and where we truly come from. And most of us don't know what this truly is. And if you watch some of my other videos, I go into all that. So hopefully some of that's helped enlighten you, or at least got you to study on your own and try to fact check me or whatever you got to do, or just dismiss me outright. That's fine too. But, it's my views. These are the theories I've come up with, people. I don't have all the answers, look, but I've been researching and studying this stuff my whole life, pretty much since high school, so it's been a lot of time. I've been deep in the trenches, but I don't have all the answers, but a lot of this stuff is becoming even apparent for the totally, asleep sheep, but I mean, right now we are watching a planned demolition of the amount of humanity on Earth. We are watching the end of humans being able to procreate how they see fit, because it's going to come a time where, if you watch The Handmaid's Tale, I'm not saying it's going to be just like that, but in there how people couldn't have babies anymore. Well, that's all being planned for us. Trust me, that's all part of this, and they're going to hit us at all fronts. I mean, you look at what's going on with Russia. They are poking the bear in Iran as hard as they can. They're poking China as hard as they can. They really want to force a worldwide conflagration. That's one of their plans. I mean, they if they can't get it through what they put in us, what they can't get us to ingest, if they can't get it through what they're getting us to breathe, then they'll go the old school route. They'll just do their God of War games. And we're watching it. I mean, they are pushing so hard at this. They want to destroy the earth. And you know what, folks? After studying ancient history and just all the past, it makes you wonder if Atlantis wasn't doing the same things that we are now. You know, you like in the Book of Enoch, it talks about how the everything was was corrupted, which basically meant genetically modified. Humans, animals, plants, everything. Well, is this not a repeat of the past? Was not Atlantis completely, utterly destroyed and civilization had to be restarted? I mean, I think we're watching this again. I don't know if, like, there's some kind of cosmic plan or it's part of this matrix that it has to be reset, just like a computer, you know? It runs so long and then at some point it's got to be reset. And maybe these people think they're the gatekeepers of that reset and that they're going to force the reset. And they're going to do it however they possibly can. They're not going to stop, folks. We got to come to that realization. We think we made it past this last thing. Nah, that was just a warm-up. That was a test. That was like when an enemy tests your defenses. They were seeing how people would react, who would take it, who wouldn't. Even after the dismissal of a lot of people, they were seeing how many people would wake up from that and who wouldn't. And who would continue to do it, to take it. And look, there's still people. I mean, thank God, a lot of people are starting to not do it, but they're still most of them are still in denial about this. It's like deep down they know not to take it, but they're still in denial about why, you know. And we got to wake up, folks. You got to do what you got to do to protect your family. What you got to do to eat as clean as you can. I believe strongly in going back to living as natural as you can, you know. Eating as clean as you can, as simple as you can. You're still not going to get rid of everything. Unfortunately, a lot of your meat and veggies is still not going to be ideal. But do the best you can. Be very careful with what you're actually putting in your body. It's hard to not, you know, just because it's all around us. I mean, you can't, what's in the air, it's hard to not breathe that in, ingest that, because it gets into everything. I mean, even if you're doing your own garden, that stuff's still in your soil. It's just unfortunate what we're watching happen. Our government agencies that are supposed to protect that stuff, and they're being weaponized against us. Oh, they're not stopping all this stuff being sprayed in our air, fluoride and junk being added to our water supply. They're not stopping all these poisons getting put in our food, injections in our meat. They're not stopping any of that. No, they're deciding how they can make your life worse, like trying to stop you from using a gas stove, or stopping you from the most efficient way to heat your house. All the things you need for survival. They're going after that. Yeah, see, because these once again, these agencies are run by psychopaths. I really need you all to understand this. These people do not care what you think. They don't care how much you rage against them, because psychopaths don't care what anybody thinks, you see. They don't care who they hurt. They don't care who they destroy. They are mentally cut off from those faculties. These are the type of people that should be in mental institutes, in prisons. These are the type of people that should have absolutely no control or power over humanity whatsoever. But unfortunately, we find ourselves in a situation where these people are the gatekeepers. And we wonder why it continues to get worse and worse, and why it don't get better. And maybe some of us think we can vote our way out of this. Well, folks, I hate to tell you, but the people that you're choosing between to vote for, those people are all handpicked too. See, we're only given the choices that they give us. We don't have a choice of real, honest people. We're being lined up with the people that are aligned with these people. It's all a game, folks. And they think that when all's said and done, they're going to live in the Garden of Eden. You know, they think that they are going to have a paradise, that they're not going to need us peasants anymore, us working class people. They're going to have robotics and AI running all their systems. The only few humans they're going to need are going to be their slaves. They won't even have to put these slaves under debt slavery anymore like we all are. The day you're born, you're put into debt slavery, by the way, just so you understand that. Your Social Security number is your product number, if you haven't figured that out. And you are a human resource, like they even tell you at work. And you are collateral to the national debt with whatever country you're born into. And guess what? That national debt is owed to a worldwide banking cartel. And that cartel happens to be ruled by the same families that have been controlling the world for a long, long time. And all of their puppets are all in the positions of power where they need them to be. And, you know, these people will do anything to save their own family. They have blackmail on them. You know, they know that they've already sold their souls, you know, and and most of them don't care anyways, because they're psychopathic anyways. So they probably get sweet joy out of this. They probably go home, you know, when you go home, you're exhausted because you worked all day. Maybe you have your kids have sports. You have to run around. You have to, you know, get dinner ready. You know, you live a normal life, right? You know, these people, they go home to their mansions. They've got maids and everybody takes care of all the stuff for them. And I think they go into their little cellars and they, you know, they put on their little robes and they have a little, you know, celebration and cackle with joy at all of this stuff they're doing. And they can't believe that us sheep are so stupid that we actually, that the 0.1% can manipulate the 0.99.9%. You know, it's amazing. But this is the reality we live in, folks. I know this is kind of a negative video, but I need people to understand the scope of this. And I couldn't even, in this little 30-minute video, I couldn't even you know, wrap everything up. I'm sorry. I tried to, but I couldn't, you know. Maybe tomorrow I'll expound on this a little more, or I'll look at some other things we can do. But anyways, I appreciate you guys, and I will talk to you later.